Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. The St.James Parsh Court, formerly the Montego Bay Resident Magistrates Court, has churned out many interesting stories over the years, some inside the actual building and some on the outside. Persons who were around at the time surely cannot forget a case back in the 1980s when a woman who turned up at the Montego Bay RM court as a witness in a murder case flatly refused to enter the courthouse after it was discovered that a frog with its mouth padlocked was found on the court step. I cannot remember how the case actually turned out, but one thing I know for sure: the woman who believed the frog with the padlock in the mouth had something to do with Obia never testified in the case. Then there was a 2001 case with dancehall artist Michael Alozade Sterling, who got really dark in the courthouse after he got into an argument with a police officer and he rained a couple of punches on the lawman as the bewildered judge looked on. Thankfully, he was subdued before he managed to beat the police officer to a pulp. The entertainer was subsequently sentenced to 9 months in prison for the incident. It should be interesting to note that Alozade was one of 7 entertainers who were charged for using expletive during their performance on the Dance All Night segment of Reggae Sumfest 2001. It should also be noted that the other artists were fined a small sum and allowed to go home to their families. Another case at the Montego Bay RM court which attracted both local and international attention was the case of security guard Wilbert Cook, who was implicated in a drug bust at the Sangster International Airport. When he appeared in court, he was remanded in custody by the judge, but he complained bitterly that he did not want to go back to the Barney Street lockup as the prisoners there were abusing him. While he was being transported out of the courthouse, he broke free from the policeman who was escorting him. He then jumped through a window and then jumped over a balcony on the 2nd floor, landing on the concrete surface on the ground floor. He died from the injuries he sustained. While there have been numerous other cases of fistfight outside the courthouse, especially between baby mothers and their baby fathers, none comes close to an incident in 2000 when a man was stabbed to death inside the courthouse. In this edition of Lest You Forget, I will be revisiting that story from a story I wrote for the Star, which was published on August 24, 2000, under the headline Killing Spark Court Chaos. The Montego Bay Resident Magistrates Court was thrown into chaos and confusion yesterday when a labourer stabbed a mason to death just outside the number 2 courthouse where Senior Resident Magistrate Glenn Brown was presiding. The killing of Gladstone McGowan, a mason of Paradise Crescent, by labourer Garnet Mullins of Hog City Flankers sparked so much panic that the court had to be temporarily suspended. There are conflicting reports as to what happened. One eyewitness said a man threatened a woman in front of a courtroom and McGowan intervened and was stabbed. However, the killer's wife, Peaches Gray Mullins, who wept uncontrollably, told the Gleaner a different story. She said the killing was in self-defense during an argument between her husband and McGowan. The police who were nearby when the killing took place told the Gleaner that Mullins and McGowan had an argument over a piece of jewellery. A knife was introduced during a brief verbal exchange and McGowan was stabbed several times, said the police. Order was only restored after Constable Steve Lambert, who rushed to McGowan's assistance, fired a warning shot in the air, during which time Mullins was subdued and promptly taken into custody. The court staff looked on in disbelief as paramedics from the Cornwall Regional Hospital tried to revive McGowan before placing him in an ambulance and rushing him away from the scene. He was pronounced dead on arrival at hospital. I just can't believe that something like this could have happened inside a courthouse building, said one shock attorney at law, Clive Mullins, as he surveyed the bloody scene. This shows the total disregard some people have for the justice system. Mullins, who is not related to the attorney at law, albeit they have the same surname, was promptly arrested and charged for the killing. The incident, which shocked residents of Montego Bay at the time, will be long remembered as one of those unforgettable stories out of Montego Bay. Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. Before you go, please remember to subscribe.